I hook people with the flowers, but then I educate them when they're there.
Explain to people what a botanical artist does.
Well, I do large-scale installations with plants and flowers. That's the easy way to say it.
How did you get started doing that?
You know, I grew up in northern Michigan, and so I always had that connection with nature. And I studied horticulture, landscaping. I've been a professional gardener or a florist my whole career, and recently just took the step to produce large-scale installations full-time.
So you've been able to do installations for music videos. You even decorated the set for Jimmy Fallon. Explain, I mean, how you were able to get in through all those avenues and create art, really, with the beautiful things that we see outside.
So I think it all really culminated with a massive project that I did in 2015 called Flower House, where I bought a house on auction in the city of Hamtramck here in Detroit. And with the help of about 30 other florists and I think it was 106 volunteers, we filled the interior of the house with flowers. So every room was just crawling and dripping and growing, overflowing with flowers and plants. And I think that really caught the attention of a lot of people worldwide.
So we think of everything that's been impacted during COVID-19. What has the impact been across the industry?
We've really been focused on our home life as we've all been home so much. I'm delighted to see that people are really returning to gardening and looking to the space they have in and around their homes. To be honest, I've had flower gardens and grown flowers, but this is the first year that I've grown food. So I think I am not alone in that, where I'm exploring how to utilize the ground around our houses now. So I think that's really exciting. But I did see a need with local flower farmers that usually in June, having been a florist for a decade, every single Saturday you have 1 or 2 or 10 weddings. And I really could see that the flower farmers had all these beautiful flowers with nowhere to sell them. So I thought, gosh, I wish I still had an event, a wedding every weekend. And I was like, well, let's create one. So I came up with this idea so I could still support the flower farmers.
So tell us about Big Flower Friend. What is it?
Mm-hmm. So Big Flower Friend is a series of installations throughout the month of June and into the first week of July. Every Thursday, I do an installation somewhere in the city of Detroit. I am working with the editors of a guidebook called Belle Isle to 8 Mile. And we are choosing really interesting locations in the city for me to go and do an installation that is a reflection on that location.
So what have some of the places been, and what can you tell people how to find it and look for it and follow it?
The first installation that I did was at a former home of Marvin Gaye's, and it was over on Outer Drive. And I did an installation that the shape was twofold. It was kind of this arch and had a gold vase with some really beautiful red anemones coming out of it. I had read in the guidebook that in this home, this was where What's Going On was conceived. And I heard that it was in classic 60s, 70s, sunken living room on a gold piano. So I kind of gave a little nod to that with the shape, as well as the shape we've heard of flattening the curve of Corona, staying home and being safe. So it was a little double dip with the shape there. Mm-hmm. And another, the last week's location was at the Burwood Wall in Alfonso Wells Memorial Park over in the 8 Mile, Wyoming neighborhood. And this is a really moving location. This is a wall that was built in 1941 as a physical a barrier between black and white neighborhoods during redlining. And it still exists. We can go and see it and learn from the neighbors there. And so I started thinking of this project as a way I hook people with the flowers, but then I educate them when they're there.
So if people want to continue to follow it, where are you putting out the information? Where can they see it? It's on social media?
You can find it at Instagram, which is Lisa Waud botanical artist. And then for those of our viewers who aren't on social media, I do keep my website updated. So it's lisawaud.com, and there's a button for Big Flower Friend there.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.